Well, hey there. It is Monday, and here on the Intentional Mom podcast, that means it is our favorite day of the week because we have a brand new shiny mantra. This week's mantra is an argument killer. It is going to take any argument that you might be having with yourself and put an end to it. This is a powerhouse mantra, and I'm excited to share it with you today. A mantra is a way for you to refocus your mind, take captive your very own thoughts, and to really discard a thought that isn't serving you well and give you a better one to think instead. That's essentially what a mantra is. We have a new one every Monday, so let's jump in and get started.
Well, hey there, I am Jennifer Roskamp, a certified life coach and homeschool mom of 9 who is passionate about helping women just like you embrace the here and now while also being focused on creating the life you actually want. In reality, it's not about thinking life will get so much better or so much easier when you fill in the blank. Let's work on creating a life you love now. So let's dive in and get started on redefining Supermom to be someone who is present, intentional, and content rather than perfect in our homes, in our lives, and in our own skin. Let's get started. This is the Intentional Mom Podcast.
All right. So, have you ever noticed how really you argue with yourself throughout the day, right? You're constantly having conversations with yourself. By the way, did you know that your mind has 60,000 on average, 60,000 thoughts a day? 60,000 thoughts. That's a lot. And like I said, a lot of these thoughts that you're having are conversations and oftentimes arguments with yourself. It's when we fight against ourselves to do something or not do something. It's when we fight against ourselves to think about things in a certain way. It's when we try to motivate ourselves. We try to stop ourselves from procrastinating. We try to move forward with goals or focuses or things we want to do. We try to convince ourselves to do things. And a lot of times the arguments we have with ourselves are the hardest, most difficult arguments we'll have all day long. And so, what I have for a mantra for you today is really going to be one that you can haul out anytime you're having an argument with yourself when it comes to trying to take action, trying to make good decisions, trying to keep going with a habit or start a new habit, trying to manage your time well, trying to manage yourself well. That's what we do, self management. Think about how much of your time every day is spent trying to manage yourself. It's a lot. It's a lot of time. All right, so let's jump into this mantra. Here it is. Do it anyway. Do it anyway. Do you see how this is such a good argument killer? So let's say that you are supposed to do a task today, right? You made your daily task list. If you're one of my coaching clients, the daily task list is one of our most fundamental, foundational skills. We talk about it right out of the gate when it comes to lifestyle life coaching. But when you have made your list of things that you could do, would like to do, should do every day, maybe you make a to-do list, checklist of some kind, and you get to the point where you're supposed to do something on it, and then the arguments start happening, right? You might have an argument like, it's going to be so hard. It's going to take so much time. I don't feel like doing it. I'll get to it later. So now take all those arguments and use the mantra I just gave you. Do it anyway. Just do it anyway. You say, this is going to be so hard. The mantra says, just do it anyway. Your argument says, this is going to take so much time. Your mantra says, just do it anyway. Your argument says, I just don't feel like doing this. Your mantra says, just do it anyway. Because in reality, in order to take action or to not take action, if there's something you're trying to stop doing, sometimes we're trying to take an action, sometimes we're trying to keep ourselves from doing something. But here's the reality is that you can do it even if it feels hard. You can do it even if it takes a long time. You can do it even if, right? That's the reality, is you can do it even if, no matter what the argument is that you're trying to serve yourself, or really that your brain is trying to serve you. Your brain is basically trying to get you to buy in to whatever it's telling you. And if it's telling you not to take action for whatever reason and you throw the mantra at it, just do it anyway, it silences that argument. You don't have to like something in order to do something. You can do something even though it's hard. And this mantra is such a good reminder of none of those things matter. They might be 100% valid. That's the thing, is I think so often what you might anticipate hearing from a life coach is that I might try to convince you that it's actually not hard, or it's not going to be that bad. Well, I'm not going to convince you of those things, because in reality, it just might be that hard. But here's what I know, and here's what I tell you as a life coach is I know that you can do it even though it's hard. It doesn't have to be easy in order for you to do it. And so this mantra is such a good reminder that no matter what those completely 100% valid arguments might be, just do it anyway means I'm not going to take those into consideration. That is not going to be the loudest voice in the room. The one that says, but it's going to be so hard. Yep, that voice is there. I hear you and I acknowledge it, but just do it anyway says, it doesn't matter. That's going to take me forever. Yep, it might. But just do it anyway says, I'm still going to roll up my sleeves and get started. So, as you go throughout the week this week, and these arguments, your brain starts serving you these arguments that, again, might be 100% valid. They can be 100% valid, but you can still do it anyway, whatever it is. So call this mantra out. Anytime you start having those arguments with yourself, you try to talk yourself out of something, you try to talk yourself into something that isn't really what you had planned, and it really isn't your best move. We know when that's the case. So when you start to have these arguments with yourself that you know you shouldn't be listening to, call out this mantra, just do it anyway. And then just do it. That's the mantra I have for you today. Until we talk again, make it a great day.